What's going on, fam? Back with another video. Hope you guys have been doing well. For today's video, we've got some massive news and updates to show you guys. First, the big banger, altcoin season chart index. Look, we're actually breaking to new highs and we're actually about to get that 75 print, looking absolutely amazing. And once again, once we get above 75, I do expect distribution specifically on this chart to happen. Pretty much every time we had a really successful run to the upside, we only had about 3 months of running. And I really do think that is the peak time for our altcoins to really shine and really have some massive upside potentials. But without further ado, I'm Dope Oxide. I make content on YouTube, X, and CoinMarketCap, so be sure to follow those pages. Be sure to follow my X page and be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And let's get right into it. So firstly, for liquidations, we're at $260 million and the long-short ratio is sitting about 50.22% to the short side. And look, when it comes to liquidation heat map, we're actually having a lot of liquidations getting built up below us, which is pretty interesting to see. Of course, when it comes to Bitcoin, we actually had a bit of a push up last night because of the CPI numbers. It was way below expectations, which is really good because that just means rate cuts are most likely to be placed for this month. And look, when I go to the 1 hour, the CPI numbers came around at this time. We had a big surge up to the upside and we've just been holding since. And really, when it comes to Bitcoin, as long as we hold let me just draw out the resistance for you guys. As long as we hold above about the 112 to 113k area, we can expect continuation to the upside to occur. And more than likely, this downside was actually a deviation and we can make our way to range highs and break out to new highs. And once again, this just really tells me that more than likely, in my opinion, Bitcoin is going to be having a green month for September. If I go to the monthly chart, look, we're well into the green. For September, we're actually up over 5%. Majority expected a red September. They are clearly wrong. And I really do think that September will have the highest close ever for Bitcoin. We just need to break above 115.7k. If we break above it, sky's the limit. I really do think that Bitcoin will make new all-time highs. When it comes to Ethereum, same goes. I do expect continuation to happen. Albeit Ethereum is lagging a little bit, especially that Ethereum to Bitcoin chart. But once it does break out of that major trend line, and that trend line is around that 0.041 region, I do think acceleration will occur. And I do think that Ethereum will make new all-time highs and more than likely break new highs for the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart. When it comes to the total 3 chart, Total 3 chart is looking absolutely amazing. Once again, Total 3 chart is actually the total market cap of all coins excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So basically all the risk on assets. And look, I showed you guys this chart the last few weeks and we were sort of in basically like a parabolic channel here. And we've actually broken above. We've had confirmations above and this just tells me more than likely we're going to have continuation to the upside. At the worst case scenario, we might have a little retest for the PPI numbers tonight, which is about the 1.08 trillion. If this actually breaks out and holds, I do expect new all-time highs to occur for the total 3 chart. So let me just zoom out. The all-time high for total 3 is actually the 1.15 trillion area. And if we do break out, look, I really do think the others chart is going to make its way there really quickly. And when it comes to the others chart, I've always noted you guys, look, the others chart is actually lagging quite a bit because look, like total 3, it's about 5.5% away from all-time highs, whereas the others chart is well off that. It's over 40% away from all-time highs. So I do expect this run up to really accelerate once the total 3 chart actually breaks out. But of course, still early days. We need to see total 3 to actually break out to all-time highs first. But the altcoin season chart index, once again, is really suggesting that more than likely the altcoins will really start outpacing Bitcoin and more than likely altcoin season will actually begin. Next up is our base native token assets. First one is TOSHI. TOSHI is actually looking quite good here. If I actually zoom out on the 12 hour, look, we're just holding higher lows. And as long as this higher low actually gets held and protected, I do expect continuation to happen for TOSHI. Next up is the stock market. Stock market is actually making a new all-time high. We actually had all-time highs last night. If I go to the 1 hour, as you guys can see, all-time high right there. And this is actually breaking out the wedge. So if I zoom out to the daily just suggests really the stock market is actually gaining strength. This TA pattern is actually generally a bearish pattern. And usually we have continuation to the downside. But look, we're actually having confirmation above. We had that daily confirmed above that wedge. And this just tells me as long as we hold this as long as we break out to the upside, continuation is most likely going to occur. Next up is alien base, and really same information to tell you guys. We're having higher highs and higher lows on the RSI, which suggests seller exhaustion is occurring and buyers are slowly stepping in. I've always told you guys, alien base will be a laggard and more than likely take its time. And really, once all the risk on assets like Ethereum, TOSHI, etc. really start running, I do expect alien base to really start running after that. Next up is World Mobile Token. The chart is actually looking absolutely amazing right now. We had that major move. We had that 1-2-1-2 Elliott wave really start working out. And really, I do think that the 3 wave is actually in. The worst case scenario for World Mobile Token, in my opinion, is actually retesting here at the top of the accumulation range. We might get that, we might not. But I do have my expectations set where we're most likely going to break above the 200 mil area more than likely next month. And if that does happen, I do expect continuation and acceleration to occur for World Mobile Token, especially with the fundamentals. The fundamentals are getting really strong. We're over 2.5 million users, and I do expect really great things for the World Mobile Token. Next up is the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. We're actually sitting at neutral, which is really good to see. Sentiment has been reset, and as long as this really takes its time and doesn't get to extreme greed very quickly, I do expect continuation to occur across all the markets. Next up is rate cut probabilities. Let me just give it a refresh. Once again, I do think 25 bips is most likely going to be playing out for September's rate cut next week. I don't think 50 bips is going to happen. And really, as long as this holds above 85% for the 25 bips, I do expect that is the most likely outcome. Next up is tweets. First one is by Raoul Pal. You can't help but stare at this chart. Total market cap excluding Bitcoin and ETH. This chart is looking absolutely amazing right now. We've had a massive wedge. Looks like we're going to break out to the upside and have a really nice uproaring rally, where I really do think this will line up with the altcoin season chart index. So really, once this gets above the 75k region, I do expect distribution to happen for this chart. More than likely, we're going to have a massive rally to the upside. Technically, the target is the depth of this wedge, which is absolutely massive. I don't think we'll actually get that far, because that means the total chart will actually go beyond at least 4 trillion, which isn't my base expectation, but I do at the very least expect all-time highs and beyond. And we're just gonna have to really monitor the charts, and I'm gonna have to relay the charts what I see at the time, because we can't drown in the noise. We can't get super euphoric at the tops, because that will mean we're just gonna miss the top and actually lose money in this bull cycle. Next tweet is by CryptoFi Hub. Ethereum, all I see is clear skies. So once again, megaphone pattern. Megaphone patterns are generally bullish and usually always break to the upside. And we've had that breakout. We're retesting resistance as support. And once that is actually completed, more than likely that next target is actually the 10k area. Because on the higher time frame, we're actually on a major, larger breakout of this megaphone pattern. And that tells me Ethereum's top target for the bull cycle is around that 10k area. I'm not sure if we're going to hit that yet. We're going to have to relay what I see at the time. My base case is above and beyond $6,000. But I don't think 10k will actually get hit. But maybe I'm not bullish enough. Let's see how we go about that. Next tweet is by CryptoFi Hub. Once again, the Bitcoin bullishness is getting stronger. And something to note, guys, is this 109k key region has been tested as resistance multiple times. We wicked into it firstly. We closed into it a few times and tested as resistance every time we actually dumped. But now we're actually broken out. We're testing as support. We actually successfully tested as support late August. And really, we're just looking for continuation now. There's no reason for us to actually break below now. I don't think that is the case as it stands. The charts are just looking so great now, and really there isn't no reason to actually go down here. We're having rate cuts next week, and we're going to have one of the major bullish catalysts ever for this cycle to actually occur. And I really do think that more than likely Bitcoin is actually going to make all-time highs in the next few months or so. Next up is by Income Sharks. Final tweet. This is actually an amazing tweet. Ethereum's most bullish thing right now is how wild the unbalanced volume is going before price. Generally, you want a higher unbalanced volume because that just suggests buyers are stepping in and sellers are leaving the market. And more volume is better for markets because generally more volume means more participants, and more participants means higher price. And as you guys can see, the Ethereum unbalanced volume is looking like it's actually going to break above our previous high in mid-August. And if that does happen, Ethereum all-time highs is going to come sooner than you think. I really do think that once this actually breaks out, more than likely end of September, if not October, will be the month for all-time highs for Ethereum, which is great to see because generally the unbalanced volume chart is the precursor of what the price is about to do. So if we expect unbalanced volume to keep increasing from here, I do expect Ethereum to also increase and making all-time highs, which in my opinion will also mean that more than likely the base season is going to occur. TOSHI, alien-based World Mobile Token, and other base native token assets will have monster runs to the upside. So quite exciting times. time to lock in because September is going to be green, in my opinion. Of course, none of this is financial advice. This is just my opinion. I'm only relaying why I see it to the charts. I'm not a financial advisor. But yeah, so that's all to the video, guys. If you guys like the video, like and subscribe. Comment down below if you have any questions. That's all to the video, guys. Have a good one. Have a good day. Peace.